Hey, Jeff, you're first. Is that your first time being first? Yeah, it's hard not to go into the diatonic scale. The major scale. Sorry, where is the? Oh, here it is. Here to turn off the music. Hold on a second. Turn off the bubble machine. All right. Boy, that's a reference right there. Turn off the bubble machine. Bonus points if anyone knows what that's from. Let's see. Hey, Roger. Hey, Ed. Hey, Dennis. Hey, Holly. Good to see you. No worries. Okay. How are you feeling, Dennis? Hey, Tony. Good to see you. Hey, Bob Schumann. Dennis, how you feeling? Because you have the COVID. You're all probably wondering how my sister's doing. I'm going to have to text her and see. I'll tell her that you guys want to know. Hey, Rusty, what's going on? Jay Wire, good. We got a lot of people coming on. Good to see you all. Let me text my sister. Maybe she'll join us again. I'm just to say you want to know how she's doing. Not me, you guys. You want to... So she may log in and tell us. All right, let's see. Audrey, good to see you. Moscow, get out of town. It's bedtime. Go to bed. So we got some new scales. It's hard. And I messed up on them. I had to redo one of them or two of them. I hope I did them right. The D major one is kind of weird. If you look at it, it's got 3 notes on one string, and then the very next string has 1 note. So you're like, but like I said, a lot of times I want to play that B there, but then it doesn't. If I play the B there instead of open, because the 4th fret of the 3rd string is also a B. And that kind of lines up with what you're doing with the F sharp. Oops. But you still only have 1 string and 1 note on this next string. So it's just a matter of you're just moving the issue to another string. So it's still the same issue. Oh, thanks, Jay Wire. I appreciate that. David Sellers in Scotland. Dan's in the area because he goes to my church. Oh my gosh, we totally had. I don't know if you follow Worship Fails on Instagram. It's a pretty funny follow, and it's just churches that do it wrong. Well, we had a Worship Fails moment on Sunday. If you go to our church's, it's right at the beginning of the service. If you go to our church's Facebook page, the Shepherd Church in Porter Ranch, and watch the 3rd service, which is the 11 o'clock service. Somehow, between the 9 o'clock and the 11 o'clock, Michiko's keyboard got moved up a half step. So we start right out with, right, we're doing we're adding some Christmas songs in, starting to add Christmas songs into the worship in December. And and Michi was supposed to be an E. So everybody's playing an E except Michiko. And of course, she's kind of the leader, so everybody's got a lot of Michiko in their headphones. And immediately we're like, it's like, I don't even know how to, I don't even know if I can play it. Yeah, it would be like, and poor Alex was stuck on the melody. He's playing the melody, and all you see is Jeff, one of the worship leaders. He's kind of just smiling like, oh my gosh, this is a worship fails moment. So it's pretty funny. So anyway, if you check it out, be kind. But Alex fixed himself really quick. I went to, oops, that doesn't sound right. Oh, we're in F. And everybody kind of had to follow Michiko so we all just transposed up a half step. By the time the singers came in, which was 8 bars in, we were all in F. Hey, Romero, what's going on? Man, we got a lot of people on this morning. What's going on? Is everybody, well, it says 20. Just everybody's chatty. Hey, Paul, good to see you. Michael Houghton, how's it going? No, you did not miss the guitar store reveal. I will tell you that in a little bit. I'll wait till a few more people, so I don't have to tell the story over and over again. Okay. And so if you remember, and I accidentally deleted this and had to remake it, but if you remember, the previous 3 lessons was basically the G major scale. And that basically works. Oh, see, I changed this. See, that's gone now. Oh, Lee's going to join. And she says she's better. So let's see. So I changed. I accidentally, what I did was I edited the original. So anyway, that's all right. It's not a big deal. But so we're going to talk about pentatonic scales, and penta is the Latin prefix for 5, right? Pentagram, pentagon, pentatonic, penta. I'm trying to think if there's any other penta words. Probably lots of them. In lots of different fields of study, probably has, anytime the word 5 is used, it's probably penta something. So I'm sure you got a, hey, Happy Dollar. Becker's here too. Wow, everybody's here. Why is it only saying I got 20? Feels like there's a lot more than that. Well, 28 now. Okay. With a bullet. So pentatonic scales are 5-note scales. So they're a diatonic scale, of which G major is a diatonic scale. They have 7 notes, okay? So we're actually going to be playing with less notes. In some ways, it almost sounds more bluegrass. Like I said, I love playing pentatonic scales with a mandolin. And it just feels, I don't know, it just feels happy. And these are major pentatonics. We're going to do minor pentatonics, because minor pentatonics, I was just doing them, you know. They sound great over major chords too. And they kind of really emphasize the blue part of bluegrass. So I guess we're going to emphasize the grass part of bluegrass. So the happy stuff is the grass. Is that what I'm saying? Oh, Lee's here. But yeah, so a lot of times what you associate with bluegrass is often major pentatonics. And they have kind of an open sound to them. And consequently, you could play G major pentatonic all the way through. All 4 or 3 chords in the chord progression. And the chord progression is right here below the, I can make it a little bit bigger, but this is the simple progression that we've been practicing over. And then the link for that jam, I have a jam that I did. If you don't know it, is right here. Copy this. It's got a 10% thumbs down rating, which is hilarious to me. It's like, really? That's not bluegrass. Somebody said that's not bluegrass because there's drums in it. And I went, yeah, that's true. I did put a beat in there. So I should put a heavy metal like beat in there. And then I would have really ticked off the purists. But But basically, it's you could play G major pentatonic, which, if you remember, it's the same as E minor pentatonic. When we did the blues stuff a while back, remember the blues basics or intro to blues. We learned some open. We did it in the key of E. We did blues in the E, and we used some open scales to kind of get started in the blues. And that one scale, the E minor pentatonic, is identical to the G major pentatonic. Same exact notes. But I put red dots. Hopefully I got it right. It looks like I got them right. Okay, here's a red dot, and red dot for the G's. So those dots are the roots. So on the G major pentatonic, the red dots are all G's. On the C major pentatonic, hopefully, yep, those are C's. And on the D major pentatonic, those are D notes. I didn't need to do 5 frets, but anyway, I could have made them bigger if I got rid of some of those frets. Entertaining. I love to entertain. And you can even just take that G chord and just start playing the pentatonic notes around it. I mean, that's just fun right there. We're talking about double stops. Remember, somebody posted a video about double stops? Double stops don't have to be harmonized thirds. That guy, he kind of did all the harmonized thirds in the key between the A and the E chord, I think is what he did. It was a very cool video. Or maybe he didn't just do thirds. He did fifths, fourths too. I have to re-watch the video to see it. But double stops can be like when I'm doing this. That's a double stop too. Anytime you hit 2 strings at a time, that's a double stop. And a lot of times you associate with that's a double stop, right? That kind of stuff. Those are double stops. But when you're playing like a strumming a chord, and you're just kind of being messy with your right hand and hitting more than one string, I don't know that I would call those double stops, but they kind of act like double stops. They sound like. Now when you go to the C chord, you can do the same. So you can, in other words, what I'm saying is you can visualize this, your basic C shape over that. Ooh, look at that, I got it right the first time. That C major pentatonic. So, and you can see the notes in there. Okay, if you look at the 5th string here, the 4th string here, open G string, 1st fret on the B string, and an open E string, you can see that C chord. I'm a teacher too, yes. Not much anymore. I taught for 35 years, from the age of 15. I remember, I don't know if Lee, you know this story, but when North Central was really cool to me. I knew at 15 I wanted to play guitar for a living. So I would bring my guitar to school, and they would let me skip study hall and go to the music wing and sit in one of the empty rooms and practice guitar, which was really cool. So I would bring my guitar to school so I could practice whenever I had a chance, which is really, and my school had a very good music department. I had 2 years of college level music theory before I was a senior. I had my sophomore and junior year, and just like loved it. And so I was walking around the school with my guitar, and one of the teachers came up to me and said, "Do you teach guitar lessons?" I went, "No." And she said, "Well, my son wants to learn to play guitar. I'll pay you $5 a half hour, and I'll pick you up and take you home." And I went, "Okay." That was like a fortune. $5 for a half an hour back in, this would have been 76. So she would come to the house, pick me up, take me over to her house. I would teach her son guitar lessons, and that was kind of the beginning of it. I was still taking lessons at the time. And then when it really kind of hit was when I was, my sister probably remembers when I worked at Gringos, and I hated that job. Of course, why would I like it? I mean, it wasn't music. I'm looking for a tuner. There's several. And I'm just going to bang my guitar around now. And I hated working at restaurant. I mean, a couple of reasons. Restaurant work is hard. I'm not a hard worker. Secondly, I wanted to be a guitar player, so I wasn't doing what I loved. If I loved restaurant work, I'd probably have a restaurant right now. Well, sadly, probably not. But anyway, it was not a thing for me. And so the store that I was taking lessons at asked if I would teach, and I started teaching. When I was 17, I started teaching at the store that I took lessons at, and they gave me one day. And the parents loved me, the students loved me, and the owner of the store loved me, and I was teaching 5 days a week within about a year and a half. So I had to quit college because I just was working so much. Okay, you waited one more year, Becker. And then D. I mean, if I always think of, right? I always think of that when I'm hammering on fingers, but with D, there's so okay. Get your guitars out. Let's do the pentatonic scales. We're going to go ahead and do all of the strings. We're not going to start just on the roots. I want you to be aware of those red notes. Those are the roots of the pentatonics. But we're going to use all 6 strings. We're going to play the entire up and down. Okay. So this first one should be pretty simple and pretty familiar to you by now, if you've been watching my stream for very long. Phalens, that's right. Yeah, spelling is not quite right. No A, P-H-E-L. Well, there's an A. Phalens. It's not called that anymore. I think it's called Caramel Music now, but it was P-H, and it was Jack Phalen's store, and then he married Carrie, and then Carrie bought the store and it became Carrie's store, so it was still Phalen's. So yeah, Phalen's. I actually have some stickers that I have for Phalen's, which is cool, with their address and everything. Okay, so open 6 string. Let me just check the live stream. You guys can see those. Okay, good. All right. So open 6 string. Oops. 3rd fret with your 3rd finger, and we are going to be positional. There is one note we're going to get with our 1st finger, and there is one note we're going to get with our 4th finger. Also, here's an interesting little side note. If we were to add up these 3 scales, if we were to combine all the notes in the 3 scales, we would end up with the G major diatonic, I believe. Yep. We would end up with, so if you added all those notes together, you would create this. Okay? And there's a lot of commonality between these scales. If you look up at the scales, so I wrote the scales up here. I touched my face, so that's a drinking game. Everybody take a sip. I got to use air quotes at some point so we can take another sip. I love how Joey on Friends use those quotes, right? He totally uses them wrong. I'm sorry. It's like, no, you don't air quote sorry. That's such a funny show. Okay. All right. Open, then 3rd fret with the 3rd finger. Open 5th string. 2nd fret on the 5th string. Open 4th string, 2nd fret, and then maybe try alternating if you can. Alternating, picking open G string, 3rd fret. I'm going to have to send you a guitar, Lee. Open 2nd string, 3rd fret, open 1st string, and 3rd fret, the G. Okay, and backwards. 3rd fret, G, open E. Next string, 3rd fret, D. Open B, next string, 2nd fret A, and then to our root G, open G, then 2nd fret E, and then, brain shut off, D, open D, and then 2nd fret on the 5th string is B, and then open A, and 3rd fret, here's our root G, and then open is E. Okay, we might not go down to that note. But you can just kind of fish around it a little bit, try to find some melodies. There's a million melodies that it was, somebody posted it, Jeff. Somebody posted that double stop video. It wasn't my video. Somebody posted it in the Discord. Let me post a link for the Discord. Dennis is kind of busy right now. No, I would just buy one and send it to her new, so she'd have a new guitar. If I did that, let's see. What am I looking for? Oh, the Discord link. Okay, sorry. I got good sleep although Beth got up at 5:45 this morning for some reason, and the alarm kept going off, so it woke me up. She wasn't waking up. I'm like, why are you getting up at 5:45? But I guess she had to be at work early for something. So here is, and this is the link to the Discord. This is the invitation link, and it has the rules there, which is basically the rules. Be cool. Don't be a, a stalker. Don't harass people. Don't be argumentative. Music is very is not numbers game. It's all about the heart and everything. So, hey Scott, Jacob's in appreciation. Good morning. First time saying hello. Thank you for sharing your videos. No worries, Scott. I love doing it. Lately, I haven't really posted a lot of new videos. I've been doing the live stream. Once we end this, I'll still do, probably what I'll do is I'll still do one day a week of live stream once we end this, but I'll take that other time that I'm doing live stream and concentrate on creating some new videos. I got lots of ideas. I just, it's hard to justify the time. I've got to, take time from other things that I'm working on. I keep doing the minor pentatonic. I need to do more major pentatonic lately. And then the other thing we're going to do is we're going to add blues licks to these, okay? But we're not going to do that. I'm probably going to spend a week, three lessons on these major pentatonics with you guys. And I've already written, I think I've got it. I think this is the new song. So Uncle Jan's real. God bless Dennis and his, I've been praying for him and his family. He's got a lot of COVID in the family right now. And Merry Christmas, Dennis, right? But this was, so it'll look like this when I put it into Finale. Finale is a music writing software that's really, I like it. Sibelius is probably better, but I learned Finale and I don't want to learn another one. So it's kind of one of those things. And there's free softwares that are good, but I'll turn this into what that is. And so I won't play this yet though, because I want to make sure it's exactly how I want it to be before I start getting it down. And there is going to be a moment where we leave and go up to here for the C pentatonic. Speaking of C pentatonic, let's do that one. So open, bottom string. We're on the second scale right here. We're on the second scale right here. Okay. C major pentatonic. C note is 3rd fret, 5th string, and 1st fret, 2nd string. Okay. Bottom string open, 3rd fret, open, A, and then 3rd fret. Here's our C root. Then open, 2nd finger on the 2nd fret. Then open G, and then 2nd finger on the 2nd fret, which is A, and then no open B string this time. We're going to go to the C. You'll notice there's no B in the C major pentatonic, so we have to go to the C here, and then 3rd fret, and open E, and then G. Sorry, I'm looking at Sam's comment for double stops. Any two notes in a major triad? Yeah. 2 strings to get exactly. I mean, that would be a double stop. It could also be. There's a lot of ways to play it. I like being a little more interesting. When you do double stops, one of the really good ways to think about it is to think about it as 2 singers. Okay, and if you just did. That's not a bad melody, right? That's not bad. But if you make one note set, because I like I've talked about this before in harmony. There's basically 3 types of harmony, vocal harmony, when you have 2 singers. You have parallel movement, which is what that is. you have what I call static movement, which is see, would be holding one note. Like if I went, la, 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 somebody's just singing that note, and so everybody else is moving around, which I love that kind of movement. You know, your ear is attracted to the note, the voice that's moving, and it is called a voice. When you play two notes, it's called two voices. You have two voices. So even in the terminology, music terminology, everything kind of references back to choirs. And then contrary motion would be if you had two motions going two different directions, like if you went. So it would be good. So I've got the top line is going, and the bottom line is going. So it's just basically creating this kind of. Oops. Have to think. It's too early to think. Okay. What's wrong with Guild acoustics? I noticed none in the Discord. Oh, there's nothing wrong with Guild acoustics. Actually, guilds were kind of poor man's Martins back in it, and so were Takamines back in the 70s. And by far the number one 12-string in the 60s and 70s was Guild 12 strings. It was like everybody had it. Everybody who had a 12-string that was in the business had a Guild 12 string. So, okay, now we're going to do the scale. Oh, let's do descending C major. I don't know if we did that. 3-0, 3-1, 2-0, 2-0. Okay, 3-0, 3-0. Now let's start on that C note there. Okay. If I go C to C, that's just the pure C major pentatonic. I'm going C, D, E, G, A, C. Okay, it's right. It's cool how it just fits around the chord. And when you're playing like a C chord, and if we add that low E, for example, if we played a C technically over E, that's 50% of the notes in this pentatonic scale. So just by playing the G chord like here, you're already playing half of the notes in the scale. So it's really easy to see the scale if you kind of throw your hand on the chord and go, boom, okay, there's G. Okay, you can start to see those shapes kind of appear wrapped around the scale. I mean, wrapped around the chord. Okay. Yeah. No, I think guilds are great. Nothing bad about guild. I don't, but I don't have a guild. Sorry. I actually kind of like their electrics too. Their electric guitars are kind of cool. The hollow bodies. Okay. So the D major pentatonic. So it's going to be the weird one. This is if we look at the G major Okay, remember that would be what we would have called pentatonic number 1. If you remember our pentatonic shapes, the C major pentatonic would be the pentatonic number 4 shape. D major pentatonic is technically that D major pentatonic 3 that I always say is our least favorite one, but we can't play it because we don't have a fret down here. This is the 0 fret, so we can't go below the nut. So we have to find this note up here. See, if I were to play this scale up here, you would see that it's pentatonic number 3, right? That's the one with the position shift. It's the only one of the 5 pentatonic scales that have that position shift. So we have to do this weird stutter thing, and like I said, I was having trouble with it when I was jamming along with the jam track at the beginning of the video, just because I kept wanting to go to G major. I wanted to go to the G major scale that we spent last week working on. And this thing just doesn't lay in the fingers very well. Okay, so immediately when I say that, here's what I think, and here's what I want you to think, is whenever you say, that just doesn't feel good in the fingers, now you've just given yourself an excuse to create an exercise, okay? And the area where it feels sucky, let's play it right now, and I'll show you where it's pretty obvious right in there. But when we get there, we're going to make a little exercise out of that, and then maybe we'll be able to... Oh, the chat went down for a second. That was weird. Uh-oh. Sorry, we're buffering. Wow. Okay, but we're good now. I got 3,000 kilobytes per second. But yeah, something happened. Ooh, it peaked at 46. Okay. Let's see. Stream settings. Let me just see. Stream health. Yeah, it's, well, no, we're good. Okay, good. All right. Okay. So here, play this one with me. Okay, we open string on the bottom. Then second fret, second finger. That's our F sharp. Okay. Open A, B, and then here we have three notes on this string. Open, 2, and 4. Play that again. O, 2, 4. You could use one if you want. You could use your first and third finger instead if you wanted to. Okay. And then the next note, but for purity's sake, let's just stick with maybe using the pinky if we can. If you can't, then that's fine. You can use your first and third. Second finger on the A, and then, so we're not playing anything else. That's it. Just that one note on the A string. And then B, D, open E, and F sharp again. Okay, hey, Pepper. Oh, is it Dennis's birthday? Dang it. How do I not know this? Well, because I'm probably not on Discord enough. Oh, good. I hope so, Dennis. I want you to keep working in the new year. Okay, so start on the second fret. Oh, okay, that's an F sharp. Open, D, B, just the A note here. Second fret. Fourth fret. Second, open, second, open, second, open. Let's do it again. E, F sharp, A, B, D, E, F sharp, A, B, D, E, F sharp. Okay, so and then backwards. I'll go ahead and do it again backwards. F sharp, E, D, B, A, F sharp, E, D, A, let's see, B, A, F sharp, E. Okay, now part of the reason I do this live stream 3 times a week is so if I do have a stroke, you guys will witness it and call 911 for me. Because I'll start talking gibberish. Okay? You know, one of the symptoms is you have a taste of copper in your mouth. And I'm like, I actually know what that tastes like because I'm sure when I was a kid, I put copper pennies in my mouth. Oh, show. We don't need to hide that. Holly, that's funny. Oh, another moderator handled this. Okay, so happy birthday, Dennis. Let's see. Happy birthday is actually still copyrighted. No, is it public domain? I can't remember. What with that? That sharp 11 that is in every movie, that's sad movie. Okay. I probably should have done it in the key of G, but I don't know why. I just started playing D. But that's one of those songs that always confuse because it starts on the 5th. Speaking of movie themes and melodies in movies, we watched Elf last night for fun. We always try to catch it at least once a year, and the theme is great. And he uses it sparingly. The composer does. I forget who the composer is. I don't know. I think it's anyone I work with. Let me see who the composer is. I always like to look that up. Well, mainly because that's who I work for, composers. But also just because it's like, oh, well, no wonder I liked it. I love his scores, you know. I'm not sure who this one was. So I've looked it up before. 2003. The movie's getting old. Zooey Deschanel with blonde hair. The funny thing is the young people, it's like, that's what they know Bob Newhart from. It's like, really? That's what you know Bob Newhart from? Full cast. Usually most, that's not what I'll do it that way. It's fine. It just takes longer to find. Okay, composer. Oh, John Debney. I know John Debney, actually. He's great. No wonder I like it. It's just a great melody. It's just a great melody, and he uses it just in the right moments and in the right ways. He changes how he you know, a good composer will do theme and variations and all that kind of stuff. So let's see. Okay, so let's so if you look at that, we're gonna woodshed the D major pentatonic for a little bit, but if you look at the beginning of it, it's really just open two, open two, open two. So it's pretty easy. The only problem is that's kind of in the low range, right? And it's like not the best place to be playing. You know, people expect you when you're soloing to be a little bit more in the higher range, or at least in the mid range. But to be down at the bottom of the guitar is not the best place. You know, it just sounds like, "Hi, I'm Johnny Cash." You know, it just sounds really low. So but the section of the scale that's like frustrating for me, and I'm gonna be honest with you because I think that helps you and makes you not be too discouraged, is that bit right there where you've got 3 notes on the D string, 1 note on the G string, and 2 notes on the B string. And even just the middle 2 strings. Oops, see, I did the G. So if you just practice that little, it's actually from D to D. If you look at the diagram down here. Hold on a second. If you look at the diagram down here, it goes, if you just go from the red note to the red note, that makes a nice little exercise. I mean, it's clearly the pentatonic scale, so it's the one we want to work on. But it makes a good exercise because of the fact that it just lays across the strings really in an awkward manner. I'm sure Will Ferrell's wonderful, but Will Ferrell's great too. Oh yeah, Lego movies are hilarious. Okay, and we can play it with get rid of the pinky and play it this way. It's probably going to be more realistic when the rubber meets the road, when we're actually in the middle of solo. And then consequently, if I'm going to figure it that way, I might hit the B note here instead of the open B. To me, that feels more natural. It feels like more like a guitar lick. And I get a meaty finger on that B, which is nice. I could do that hammer on, which you can't. Sorry, it's very windy here right now, so the trees are blowing, so it's changing the lighting. Just the natural light. So, to me, that's much more natural than. But that doesn't mean I don't want to get down the unnatural version of it, because I feel like I don't want to have any limitations when I'm in the middle of soloing. Okay, so let me try to do a little bit. Hey, Allie, can't be. Oh, don't worry. Here we go, real slow. Here's the open D, 2nd fret, and I'm using different fingers. Notice 4th fret, and then go back down to the 2nd fret and hit open. Even that little snippet. Right? It's just sounds great over the D chord. So I'm going to put the jam track on. Here, let me give you that link again. Copy. And this track has been getting more spins. I think it's because we've been doing this series. So it's great to have. Hey, we have 60 viewers right now. That's amazing. Okay, so I'm going to hit play. 1, 2, 3, 4. trace of old. I messed up. Then. That's hard. I really can do it. I'm just pretending to struggle with it. I added the blues note. I want to go to that blues note so bad. Okay, so I'm trying to use that little snippet of that D major scale that is kind of frustrating and kind of doesn't fit well in the hands. I'm trying to use it. I'm trying to stick to, for the most part, I'm sticking to that first position playing, again, meaning that my first finger is going to get every note I play on the first fret. My second finger is going to get every note on the second fret. Third finger is going to get third and fourth. If I were playing what's called second position, then everything would move up one fret. So the first finger would be assigned the second fret, and so on and so forth, okay? Okay, so basically what I was doing there was I was playing along with that jam track that I just posted there. So bookmark that so you have something to play with. Remember, we've talked about this many times, but it's that track is at 100 beats per minute. And if you, there's a speed guide, or there's a speed changer in YouTube. So you can literally take that and go down to 75 beats per minute, or even down to 50, or even down to 25 if you want. I tried it over 25. It's just like, you can actually hear the atoms of my body moving back and forth at 25. So you might not want to do that. Yeah, well, Doc Watson would definitely. He does a lot of the kind of the hitting the two strings and being kind of. I don't mean sloppy in a bad sense. I mean sloppy in a good sense. He's just kind of, and it really became part of the style. And Doc Watson's one of the original, was one of the original bluegrass creators. He's kind of one of the godfathers of bluegrass. So, one of the things I did was, and we can look at this, let's see. So if you notice, the middle two strings are the same for both the G major pentatonic and the C major pentatonic. Okay. Now, I don't know if you're from the Midwest, Lee might remember, if Lee's still on, I don't know if Lee's still there. Lee might remember the movie theater theme. I forget what theater chain it was, but it was like. Right? Okay. Well, that's what that is. The backing tracks are on YouTube. But I can I can totally throw it up on Discord. In fact, I need to, here's the backing track one more time. I'll throw it up on YouTube right now. I mean, up on Discord right now. I'll go to Tom's Bookmarks. Okay, so if you click on Tom's Bookmarks, here's that backing track. And then I've got to grab these here, and the pentatonic shapes that are right there, they are now in Tom's Bookmarks in not the right order, but whatever. Yeah, sorry, I should have dragged them one over time, but I just dragged them all in there. They're all in the Discord. Okay, so let's do a little snippet like this. I'm going to go open D string. Okay, fourth string open, second fret, open G string, 2nd fret, and then open. And that's a melody. If you could sing along with it, that's not a bad general sentiment. Thank you, Paul. You remember. See, and landing on that G note. Okay, is there a G in the C pentatonic? Yes. And is there a G in the G pentatonic? Yes. Okay, so that works great over both the G. No. So what? And I'm actually doing it. I'm actually doing this as an anticipatory lick, but we could play G and then play C, play the lick. Okay, then play G, play the lick again. Now play a D chord, and what I want to do is I want to go. Okay, so let's do that one. Open D. Second, boy, the wind is crazy out. It's really windy out there right now. It's driving me. It's flashing light on me too much here. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that is a very good. Yeah, Bill Monroe's a great. I have that actually somewhere packed away. But yeah, the Bill Monroe Doc Watson duet CD is and Bill Monroe's a kind of the godfather of bluegrass, mandolin. I haven't been doing many sipping violations. I'm sorry. So, yeah, we just hit 86,000 subscribers. That's pretty cool. It's actually moving a little faster. It had gotten below 1,000 subscribers a month, and now it's in the, if I pull up my analytics, I think I'm in the 1,600 subscribers a month range right now, which is freaking awesome. Let's see, 86 and 50. Where does it say that? So, 1,600 in the last 28 days. So at that rate, I will get to 100,000, and I'm excited because I do get a plaque when I get to 100,000. I don't know how fast it gets here, but maybe at that point they go through all my subscribers and see if any of them are bots and then delete them so I don't have to give me a plaque. But that's a good little lick over the D chord. And you could use your 1st and 3rd finger if you want. Open, 2nd fret, 4th fret, 2nd fret of the G string, and then 4th fret of the 4th string. Open. So open D, 4th string open. 2nd fret, 4th fret, 2nd fret, and 4th fret. Okay. C, G, D. Okay. Let me play that over the jam track real quick. Well, that's the quick change there. Now top. I go slow. That's nice. And we do it. I went diatonic scale there. But you can take any of the strings and just go from the scale. So here's the scale. We can play over G, C, play over this over the C chord, play this over the G chord, D chord, G chord. Boy, it's hard to point. Right? And the C chord changes to G, go to D. Okay? So when you do that, your eye can go back and forth between those. You can pick one string and just make that your whatever that's going to be. So over the G, we're just going to do G string. We only have one note over the D. Yeah, it's a piece of foam. Yeah, I can explain that. Sorry. I have them on my mandolin too. The reason I put the foam there was because it was the overtones were, I was working on something a while back and the overtones were killing me. It was quite a while ago. I've had the foam under there forever. But basically what I mean is I was doing something like, and then these things were sympathetically vibrating, these notes, and I didn't want that. I wanted short stabs. I didn't want anything ringing out. So I just put some foam under there, and it just stayed. It's actually not very idiomatic for the instrument. The instrument should have more overtones, but I kind of like the sound of this instrument with that muted. Yeah, it's just crappy foam from probably a microphone, from a Shure microphone. It's probably got bumps on the other side or something like that. But you can take any note, any string, and just practice that string through the progression. So you can, in fact, the D string, you've got open D, you've got, so all three scales have D and E in them. You see that? There's a D and an E in all three of those pentatonic scales. So D, E will work, and sometimes one chord will, one note's going to sound better than another. And that's when you'll make a slight change to see that? The E sounds better over the C, and the D sounds better over the G. Of course, D's going to sound good over the D. Lockdown shouldn't include, Jan, it shouldn't include watching YouTube, does it? Man, are you guys going on a lockdown too? This is crazy. It's like, it's flu season. So frustrating. Hey, looks like, listen, Oliveira. Hi from Brazil. Oh yeah, you're very welcome. Thank you for watching from Brazil. I appreciate it. So, what I'm going to do, I will, hopefully by Wednesday, we'll finish make sure that this is right. I'll create, this is going to be our, and I call this pent up. So, speaking of lockdowns, we're pent up. And so it'll look like this when I'm done, like Uncle Jan's Reel. And you can download this PDF at the Discord as well. I can post a link of the Discord. I had it up just a second ago here. Hold on. Introductions. Yeah. And you can introduce yourself. That would be really cool. Also, if you can use you can create, I think we determined that you can create a username specifically you can change your username per board. So if you could use your username that you use here where we can see you and recognize you and everything, And that makes it a little bit easier to know who we're talking to if we're talking on Discord and who's, all that. So I think, who was it, Bruce, that somebody realized that they can change their name. It was the guy with drinking the beer bottle. I can't remember that, but I remember his avatar. Okay, so let's see. Let's come up with a lick. Let's see. Okay, that's kind of hard, but let's try that. So we're going to go over the G chord. We're going to go G, 2nd fret, A, open B, 3rd fret. So it's going to be a 5-note lick, I think. Okay, so that's over the G chord. And try to go down, up, down, up, down. 3, 4, bum, 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 bum. Okay, even slower. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Yep. Yeah, we'll get those frontline workers first there, John, or Sam. Yeah, they sent a bunch to all 50 states. Funny, they had like armored. I'm not sure. I guess somebody would steal them. I don't know. I guess there are people that are really freaking out and paranoid that they would create some plot to steal a bunch of vaccines. They wouldn't be very, very popular people, though, after that. Okay, now for the C, we're going to have to play the C note. The B note's not in the C major pentatonic, okay? So we're going to go open G, 3rd fret. I'm sorry, 2nd fret, 1st fret, 3rd fret, 1st fret. Okay, so play the C chord and go. Yeah, no, you're right, Tony. Technically, there are no laws. They can fine you. That's what they're in Los Angeles. It's like people are pretty fed up with it, but technically, they're not actually meeting and passing legislation. They're just going. These are edicts that we just said. Okay. All right. So again, G, A, C, D, C. Speaking of the CDC. Okay, now, let's see, for the D one, we could go, what would we do? Okay, here we go. Grab the F sharp. Right, Lee? And they'll get the first vaccines. Guitar players are literally last on the list for vaccines. We're not going to get them. They'll be all gone. So, in fact, the vaccine actually contains tears of guitar players. So they need to keep us around, So maybe we will get. That's what the vaccine is. Tears of out-of-work guitar players. Okay, so, you could do this with our pinky, 2nd finger, open, B string, 3rd. But see, I don't want to end on the B note. Yeah, you're behind the homeless and prison inmates. Prison inmates are going to be pretty early in the whole process, I'm afraid. Take care, Mark. Good to see you, man. So I might go F sharp, A, B, and then D, and then go to the A. That might sound better. Because I want to end on a note that's in the D triad, which would be D, F sharp, A. So let me try those 3 licks. I'll play them along with the jam track so you can kind of hear what I'm talking about. Sorry, I gotta get my windows. There we go, and then it's over G. And over D. There we go. Now, so what I'm doing is I went from doing a one string lick, using just the notes on, maybe 2 notes on 1 string, to using 2 strings and basically having to pick a choice of 4 notes and then creating a lick using that. It's a very simple lick, but I'm just basically using the 2nd and 3rd string. And then C. Not COVID. See, I gotta work on that. Getting away from the scales. Okay, so you can see where you can take that and you speed it up and it starts to sound a little bit more in the bluegrass range. And I'm also doing a combination of hammer-ons and pull-offs. A pull-off is when you pull the finger off the string. But hammer-ons, good hammer-ons kind of come from the top. Okay, so I'm like basically shooting a bullet straight to the top of the guitar and hitting right there, like straight, boom. Okay, good hammer-on does that. And right behind the nut, or sorry, right behind the fret, if you go too far back, you're probably not going to get a good tone. But if you try to get not on top of the fret, that'll kill it. See, because now the flesh of your finger is hanging over the edge of the fret. You want to be right behind the fret, and that'll give you a better sound with less work. A pull off is not the opposite. If I pull off the same way I hammered on, you know, where I pull it straight away, like this, you know, if I just go boop, pull it away like that, not going to work. I'm actually replucking it. I'm pulling it down. In slow motion, it looks like this. I can't do it in slow motion. But I'm kind of pulling it down like that. So if you want, you can start with your finger on there. Your second finger on like that A note. Don't pluck it and try to pull off to that G. Okay, if you go straight off, it's not going to ring, but you have to pull it down to the floor, okay? So that's just a little bit of technique info there for you. Hey, you can take 2 sips. I'm going to leave the room and I'm going to change instruments, okay? I have a strap. I don't know if this strap will work on this, but it was in the closet. I like this strap. I just have put it on anything. So it's really stiff. New straps. I like the biggest pain. It's like, dang it, get on there. Do what I tell you to do. You know, we use, like on some of my guitars, do I have any guitars with that? We use those Grolsch bottle, like seals to works for great strap lock. See, now that's on there. But now I gotta get the other one on. I hate new straps. It's like, and look, see, I got lots of, let's look at the foam on this one. Because this one, you know, mandolins really ring out. Because you got those, dang it. Well, I got half of it on there. But now it's too short, though. Yeah, it's not bad. I have my Wiegand mandolin pick, which I like, but I haven't been holding it all this time, so we'll see what it sounds like. So, this is, we don't have it. If you don't have a drink, this is one of the drinking game rules. If I change instruments, or if I leave the room, you get to take a sip. All right, so, we'll see how close it is. So, pentatonics on mandolin are fun. Hard. Yeah, $80 Rogue mandolin, perfect for get started. This is not much better than that. This is a $300 Fender. A good mandolin is in the thousands of dollars. They're really expensive. So I'm on the D string. So it's just kind of getting used to one string at a time on this thing, and you get pretty good at it. And mandolin's great if your hands are a little small, like the guitar is really giving you struggles. I have troubles with mandolin because my hands are too big. So you end up having the opposite problem. I mean, look at the size of these frets up here. You know, it's crazy. The 12th fret, it's really not a fret. It's more of a, I don't know, it's more of a paper cut. It's paper cut size. So anyway, but yeah, the reason I have this here is because if I did a short, it would just keep ringing. And a lot of times I've been like, in fact, I've got a mandolin session later today for a video game. So, and I got a lute session sometime this week too, and we're playing lute this week. So you'll probably see the lute back there at some point this week. I've got like, and I got called to do a couple songs in Dadget. Probably the first time I've ever had that request actually. Yeah. Oh, you've got a nice mandolin. Okay, yeah. Or a really bad car, Sam. Sam either has a really crappy car, which actually probably a pretty crappy car because even a good mandolin is probably going to be about $5,000 unless you're talking about a lore, and then you're talking about like, what was it, $1 million for one of those or something like that. So, my shoulder. Somebody. Oh, did I miss a question? Oh, is that a Gretsch resonator behind it? Yes, it is. And I have a string lifter on it. We talked about that, I think, last week, right? Or last Friday. I pulled it. You pulled Friday's video towards the end. I pulled it out. So the hey, your meetings are over finally. Gosh. Okay, sip for Gary's meetings being over. Again, just so you know, if we add up all the notes that are in these three scales, you'll end up with a G major scale. Okay, so if we look up here, right up here, and I pointed right this time. If we were to add up all the notes, we have the C and the G pentatonics have the G note, and then they all have the A note, and they all have the D and the E. So those are all common notes. Actually, it's interesting. But the C is common to the C, and the F sharp is common to the D major. But those are the only, remember, pentatonic scale is 5 notes, a diatonic scale is 2 notes. So we're only missing 2 notes from the major pentatonic, and those 2 notes are C and F sharp, and those show up in both the C major and the D major pentatonic. So if we were to add all those up, yeah, we're just a hop, skip, and jump away from. So there's no rule that says you have to play, I have to play major pentatonics right now. No. It can be all a mishmash of all of the scales that you learn. We're going to do that. I could write so many different songs, but basically, in fact, I didn't even put in this. I probably should. It just says live string bluegrass song 1, but I should have said using G major scale, G major diatonic scale, and because it's the only notes I'm going to use. This one. The one I'll hopefully have ready for Wednesday is called Pent Up, and it's only going to use these 3 scales. And so it's going to be on those three scales. When the chord changes, it's going to be over the G, it's going to be playing G major pentatonic. Over the C, it's going to be playing C major pentatonic, and so on and so forth. See, Lee's learning all the rules now of the game. What are you drinking, Lee? What's your libation right now? Now, in Europe, oftentimes there are frothy libations, but I just have a coffee libation. Yeah, no worries, D-Geeter. Yeah, like I said, I have a string lifter on it, which allows me to play slide, but it actually is a round neck, so it's meant to be played like a guitar, which is cool. But I use it more as a slide, and all I have to do is loosen the strings a little bit, and I can slide that thing right out, and boom, I've got a round neck resonator guitar. So technically it's a resonator, but I kind of got it set up right now as a dobro. Good girl, Water. Hey, morning. Let's see, what else can I point out? All right, so let's do the D. Okay, let's do that. Maybe. Let's do that. That could be a good D to G lick, okay? So open D string, second fret. Go ahead and use your first finger. It's fine. Third finger on the F sharp to the A, second fret, back to the F sharp, E, D, and go to E, and then hit the G, open G string down, okay? Yeah, because you want to do like that the G major scale, but the goal is to try to get practice. Do that, practicing that. So again, D, open, first finger on the second fret, third finger on the fourth fret, down a string to the second fret with your first finger, then back to your third finger, the fourth fret, second fret, open, and then I'm going to go back to the second fret, which is the E, and I'm going to hit G. It's kind of like finishing it with that lick, okay? D, E, G. Now, let's do that lick right now, okay? It's very pentatonic, but it's also diatonic, but okay, and I'll go very slowly. Okay, that's really slow. That's too slow. Hey, Andy Wilson, good evening. Do I have any favorite fiddle tunes? I think, did somebody ask me that? Oh, Holly, God bless you. Monday appreciation tip. Do I have any favorite? Not really, because I'm not. Bruce, okay, Bruce, can you go ahead and mute me for a minute? Because I'm going to tell him I'm not a bluegrass player. I play one on TV. I'm not an aficionado. I'm listening to a lot more of it now because we're doing this series, so I'm trying to listen to it more. But I'm just listening. I'm not like going, oh, that's a tune. Oh, I can't name the tunes. I don't know anything. Okay, so what I'm doing is it's a fun thing to play on acoustic guitar, and I can mess around with it, and Alex and I jam on it. And I did say at the beginning of all this, one of the best ways to obviously get good at any style of music is to learn a lot of songs. If you want to be a good rock player, you got to learn a lot of rock songs. If you want to be a good jazz player, you got to learn a lot of bebop songs or jazz standards, as they call them. There's country standards too. There's bluegrass standards. By standard, a standard is typically something that it's usually an older song. It's one that often is requested. Like, for example, the classic would be like play Misty. Right? And so the same thing's true, I'm sure, Andy. You probably could list 10 songs right now that are every bluegrass player should know. So, and there is a great website called Bluegrass Apprentice that I've shared before, and I'll share again right now. And he has a lot of, Flat Pick Apprentice. So check this out. He's got a bunch of jam tracks. Like, he does a jam track every 5 BPM. So he's got Cattle in the Cane, at 150, 155, 160, 165, so on and so forth, all the way up to 225. So there's like 15 tempo versions, and he's got guitar tab, mandolin tab for just that one song. And he's got dozens of songs up here. So this is a great resource for getting kind of a playlist of songs. You could even, what you could do is print up his resources, have those, and then make a playlist on Spotify of the songs. Because he actually does also post a YouTube video of the song, I think, a lot of times. Here's Cold Frosty Morning, Turkey in the Straw, which is a classic. I don't want to play it, though. Again, I don't want to hit any of these YouTube because I don't want to get a copyright strike. But he's got tempos again here, 150, 160, 170, 180, 185, 190, so that you can practice getting them faster and faster and faster. He even has zip files of all the tempos, okay? So you can have all the tempos handy. Yeah, and Cuckoo's Nest is the one that Nickel Creek did on their first record. So I know it from that. So I know Fiddle Tunes probably go, oh, I know that melody, oh, I know that song, but I don't know the names of them. Again, they're instrumental songs. It's like, it's so hard to name an instrumental song when you're writing them, and that's why I was grateful that Dennis allowed me to use his uncle's name in the first song. So Whiskey Before Breakfast is a favorite. That's awesome. I'll check that out. That one may be up there too. Did I put, yeah. So check out that list. Whiskey Before Breakfast, let me see. Yep, he's got it. He's got it. Here it is right here. So, so here he's got, let's see. Oh, these are just tracks, so I don't see, where's the, I don't see that one. Those are, oh, I see, those are practice tracks. Okay, so let me see if I can click on anything here to go to the track itself. 2000, wow, this is an early one. Okay, so let me see. I don't know if he did a PDF of that one. He just recently posted, but he doesn't post very often. So it's not like it's a million songs or a million pages of a blog. I mean, I'm just click back 3 clicks. I'm already to 2013. Wildwood Flower, Black Mountain Rag, key of A, and I see a video with a fiddle player. Let's see, Rebecca. What are the changes? Where's the, okay. Oh, there's a tab. He's got a tab for Rebecca. Temperance Reel. There's Chris Steele playing it on mandolin. Fox on the Run. A Slump. Oh, he's even got a speed and stamina thing. What is that? Old spinning wheel. So I'm gotta be getting close to. Oh, what year is this? 2011. Yeah, so it's getting there. Huckleberry Hornpipe. That's another name for Bruce. That's another one. I could have called this Uncle Jan's Hornpipe. This is so funny. That's another term for. Well, that's weird. She's playing on bass banjo or something. I don't know. Angelina Baker. It's so fascinating. So for me, it's a love of just playing guitar. I get asked to do a lot of things, and really, oh great, Josh. Really, what happened was we were working on blues, and I was trying to figure out what are we going to do next, and somebody made the comment that, well, what do you want to learn? And I'm like, well, that's a great idea, because whenever you teach something, you learn it a lot deeper. So I feel like since I've started working on some of these open pentatonics and things like that, I'm actually even getting a little bit better as a bluegrass player. Now, I would not sell myself as one, and that makes Bruce mad. No, honesty is the best policy. Exactly. But basically, what I want to get out of this is just give you some basic scales that you can use over a very simple pentatonic progression, very common progression. Not pentatonic progression, bluegrass progression. And Yeah, it's just about learning some scales and then experimenting with them and having fun with them. And so that's kind of what we're doing together. So I feel. Whitson, what did you say? Do you feel you need a string raiser? Uh, yeah, I don't. I could play it, slide with it. The other thing about, if I'm not mistaken, the other thing about having the string raiser is completely flat, which makes it easy to make contact with the strings. I think normally there might be a slight, what's that called? Shoot, what's the term for that? I can't think. A radius. There might be a slight radius to that thing, which means that the strings are going to be kind of curved, which means it's hard to make contact with all the strings without pushing down. And if you push down, you're going to make contact with the fret. But literally, I can take that thing off in less than a minute and have it tuned back up. So it's not like it's slowing me down at all, or you know. And I do actually have an old Dobro. I should pull it out at some point. Alex just borrowed it for his session. It's from 1929. It was actually older than my dad. When I got it, my dad saw it. I was like, "Hey, Dad, this is older than you." He was like, "Really? Something's older than me?" Um, can you show the types of strumming you did on the quickly showed on the Elixir channel? I don't. Whoops! Oh, you retracted it. So, yeah, I don't remember what I did. If you Google me though, that video comes up. You're talking about the Elixir video. This is a Martin, a 1970s Martin D35. So it's pretty beat up. You can see the pick guard is totally thrashed. It was like that when I got it. It actually, you can't see it, but I think it was a lefty and they turned it into a righty. And that's probably why the pick guard's all jacked up. Because they moved the pick guard, or they put a different pick guard on it or whatever. But, you know, and I could get a new pick guard on it, but I don't really care. I play this in studio. I kind of, you know, I don't mind beat up guitars. This thing has served me really well, but I don't really mind beat up guitars because it's kind of like one time I was teaching a clinic and I don't have a capo. Well, like I had a capo on the headstock, right? And I had a Taylor guitar, it was a brand new guitar, and I had the capo on there. And I was talking about, it's nice having a capo handy. And somebody said, "Excuse me, but aren't you worried about damaging your guitar? It'll leave a mark or something like that on the headstock." And I'm like, "No, I don't really care." I mean, he was a guy that probably bought it, and he, after he plays his guitar, he polishes it, and no disrespect, I mean, totally legit, polishes it and puts it back in the case, closes the case, latches it, puts it in the closet, very gingerly, makes sure that the humidifier is humid, and that guitar mate will outlast him, and maybe his, if his kids or grandkids treat it the same way, it could outlast them. But I'd rather have my guitar out where I need it, and if it totally dries out and collapses and crushes, and I'll just go play a bunch of guitars until I find one that speaks to me like this one does. But I said to that person that told me asked me at the clinic, "Aren't you worried about damaging your guitar?" I said, "Look, who are you going to respect more? A soldier with a shiny sword that's never been used, or one that's got like a soldier that's got a sword that's got like dings and scratches on it? It's all dirty and got blood all over it. It's like, that's the guy you want to stay out of battle with." The guy with a new sword is like, "Ooh, look, a sword, it's shiny. Ooh, poke, poke, poke." You're not going to want to hang with it. You're not going to have a problem beating that guy, right? So anyway, I'm just kidding. But so what is it my live stream is about? That's a good question. It's about me. But enough about me. What do you think about me? Sorry. So I generally, it changes. So I'll do anywhere from 5 to 10 to 15 lessons on one subject. My live stream I've been doing since the COVID lockdowns took place in California back in March. I was looking for something to do, to be honest, and I did them every day. So it changes. But right now we're talking about scales in open position. And before I finish out, we're going to go over them again. And then on Wednesday, I'll have pent up ready for you. Okay, we'll start working on that, and I can even do the screen caps where we have we can do work on 4 frets at a time if that is fun. So poke. Okay, so let's do the scale. The G major pentatonic. We'll start on the bottom string open E, and then 3rd fret open A, B, open D, E 2nd fret, open G, A 2nd fret, open B, D 3rd fret, open E, and G 3rd fret, and then backwards 3 0, 3 0, 2 0, 2 0, 2 0. 2nd fret's open fret, second open there. And then finish it off with 3 0, and go ahead and go back to the G, because that's the root of that. Okay? Yep, so the E string, A string, G. I have 70s Lyle that I paid 30 for. Man. Grovers, yeah. Yeah, they're Grovers on this. This has got Grovers. I think it's stock, to be honest. I think I think they were putting Grovers on because there's no marks or any kind unless they refinished it, but I don't think they did. And also there's a crack in the side of the fretboard here where the binding must have come off and they repaired it. So like I said, this thing was abused. It was a pretty good deal. That's kind of why I bought it. I needed a Martin, and it was a Guitar Center hanging there, and I picked it up. So yeah, I understand, Josh, you're new. Okay, so the next scale, the C major pentatonic, we're going to play open, the bottom string open, and then 3rd fret, then open A string, 3rd fret, open D string, and then 2nd fret. So it's a little bit different than the G major pentatonic. Then open G string, 2nd fret, and then 1st fret. So we don't have an open string there. And then 3rd, D, and then open E, and then G. And then backwards, G, open E, 3rd fret is D, 1st fret is C, 2nd fret, A, open, is G, 2nd fret, open, 3rd fret is, here's our root, C. We're going to go open. 3rd fret, G. Open. That's an E. And let's go back and land on the C. Okay? It's just good to know where the roots are. There's one C and there's the other C. And Josh, just keep following along. You'll learn as you go. I won't explain everything, but I will oftentimes explain the same thing multiple times in multiple lessons, and eventually things start to make sense, but they won't at first sometimes, especially if you're a brand new beginner. And there's lots of great beginner videos out there, so I would look those up, and if you find a song that you really want to learn, you could YouTube that and maybe find someone teaching it. That's always a good thing. So if you have a favorite song. Okay, now the D major pentatonic one's kind of weird. We're going to go ahead and use our second, and we're going to stay in 1st position, meaning second finger is going to get the 2nd fret and the pinky's going to get the 4th fret. Okay, so we're going to hit open E, 2nd fret, which is D, F sharp. Yeah, you got to get a tuner, Josh. Open A, B, D, and then you can download free ones for your phone. 2nd fret is E, and then reach out here and get that F sharp. Okay, let's do that much of the scale so far. Okay, so it's bottom, open, 2nd, open, 2nd, open, 2nd, 4. All right. I like this part of it. Okay. That's nice, right? Okay, and then we're not playing the open G string. We have to go to get this note here, the 2nd fret. And it's an A note, and it's the only note on that string, unless we play B up here. But at some point, we're going to have, with this pentatonic, we're going to have a string with only one note on it. So it might as well be the 3rd string. Okay? So we got the open D again, that 4th string, 2nd fret, pinky on the 4th fret, and then 2nd fret, and then open B, D, open E, F sharp. And then again, F sharp, backwards. So 2nd fret, open, 3rd fret, open, A at the 2nd fret, then reach down here and get that F sharp, E, 2nd fret, open D, 2nd fret is B, A, F sharp, E, and then go hit that D note, D string right there. One thing you could do too is you can practice the scale up. Just start 1 note and then 2 notes and 3 notes. There it is. So I'm going to woodshed that a little bit. I keep going to that open G string. And it's not a crime, because again, the G major scale works great over all 3 of these chords. But I'm just trying to get that pentatonic shape down, you know, and I could do it. I could do, if I just move the shape around, so in other words, did G here, and then the same shape here at the 5th fret over C, and the same shape at the 7th fret in D, you would hear that very, very, very pentatonic sound. Okay, so let me, 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, and so I would want to be able to be that fluid, but in the first position, kind of keeping my hands in one position. And so, you know, kind of. It just takes some time. Oh. Question from Brian about strumming. Yeah, will you be doing a session on strumming for the accompanying guitars? Yeah, we had series. Let me look it up real quick. I think I did a whole. I mean, I know I did a whole series. Let me just see. Here's the lesson list. I can copy and paste the. So if you go back on the live stream list, you'll notice that we're on what, lesson 149. Is that right? Wait, 140. Sorry, I did this wrong. 140. Okay. Yeah, so we're on 149. Let's see. Strumming and grooving was lessons 53 to 64. So if you go there, I think I started out. So this is for Dennis from Brian about strumming. Okay, so Brian, you asked about that. Let's see. So, you know, so that we've already covered. So there's definitely a lot of patterns and certain patterns in there, and it's early in the thing, so it's probably my handwriting. I may actually have created some strumming things that you can look at that look pretty good. I don't know. Let's see. Well, every guitar player gets stuck, Josh, so that's not unusual. We all get stuck. Let's see. Where? What was the other question? So Michael. Oh, Michael, where's that question? Dang it. Is it further up than that? Yeah, maybe further up. Oh, when do you make a point of hitting the root of the chord you're soloing over? That's a good question. I mean, you can do it as an exercise to make sure you hit it, but you don't have to ever even touch on the root. It's just the root is kind of a nice home note, and it's a good way of kind of visualizing the fretboard. And then if the melody persists, if you're creating a melody and it fits where you want to go on your melody, then that's you hit the root note on the way, then you're golden. But no, you don't need to sit there and go G. If we look at, like I said, Uncle Jan's Reel, and I'm going to do it again with the next song. We'll kind of analyze it a little bit, but what I did kind of analyze this, I think, on Friday, where I talked about, like, here the first note over the G chord here is the B, which is the third. I really tried to stick to chord tones, and unfortunately I deleted. I changed the graphic on this so that it doesn't say the chord tones up here. But one important thing I think is to learn the chord tones of the chords you're playing over. It's particularly if it's just basically a G, C, D. You should know that the notes in the G chord are G, B, D, notes in the C chord are C, E, G, and the notes in the D chord are D, F sharp, and A. And if you're looking for a starting point or a landing point or an ending point, one of those chord tones is always a good place to go. So like I said, G is G, B, D, C is C, E, G, and then D is D, F sharp, A. Okay, and so those are the triads. And when I wrote Uncle Jan's Reel, I really tried to make a point of not only starting on a chord tone with the chord. There was only one time where I didn't do it. It was this bar number 7 on the D chord. I went ahead and just played a G because it was a descending G run, and it just happened to line up that way. And I liked it, and it worked, and it's not a must do. You can start on any note and if you can justify it musically, then great. I can play Johnny Be Good. Thank you. Yes. The thing about what I was talking about on Friday was how to arrive to those notes too. So I really, when I was writing a melody, and I would do this likely in soloing too, is I try to arrive at that first note via a note that's adjacent to it in the scale that we're using. So in this case, it was diatonic scale. In this case, it'll be more pentatonic, so you'll have maybe some bigger leaps, but this looks pretty close to just seconds and thirds, or mostly seconds here. Yeah, mostly seconds. So this will be fun. I think you'll like this. I called it Pent Up. Now when we do the minor ones, we're going to do Sad Dad Bachelor Pad. That's going to be the name of the song. I haven't written it yet, but when we do the minor. So what we're going to do is we're going to spend a week, 3 lessons on these major pens. And then I'm going to add the blues notes to all 3 of these, so major blues, okay? And that all we're doing there is we're doing the third. We're flattening the third. And so if you you want to do that now, you can just take that third and look at the scale, G, A, B. So the G is the root, A is the second, B is the third. So if you add a B flat, not replace it, just add a B flat, that creates what I would call a major pentatonic blues scale. That blues note will come in real handy, and especially as a passing tone from A to B or B to A. And then the same thing's true with the C. We can add that E flat, and I think it'll work. We talked about that before. Remember the E minor pentatonic didn't work the C minor pentatonic didn't work in G blues over the 4 chord, and it's like, why does that not work? But I think that over the C, let me mess around with it a little bit. Sorry, I have to get my windows in order here. Okay. so it works. So yeah, you can totally get that. So the minor, the blues note's going to work in over all three chords: the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord. Okay. And if you're wondering why we call them, just a refresher, if you're wondering why we call it 1, 4, 5, if we take the G major scale and we go G, A, B, C, D, the 1 is G, A is 2, 3, 4 is C, and the 5 is D. So the chord built on the 1 is the 1 chord, the chord built on the 4 is the 4 chord, and the chord built on the 5 is the 5 chord. And in a major key, those are the 3 major chords. All the others are minor or even a diminished. So, oh, good. No, that's cool. Yeah, and Holly, that the tab really makes it easier for you. I know, and so don't worry, I'll do tab on all of them. I mean, I don't read it when I'm looking at these things. Like when I pulled up, what was the one I pulled? The other one that I got from Flat Pick Apprentice, Cuckoo's Nest. Okay, this is the one that's on the Nickel Creek record. That one, I really don't. I really try not to look at the tab. It's actually easier for me to read. But sometimes the tab comes in real handy, and it will. In fact, I think we're good. I think I may use the fretted B string at some point on Penta Up, but we'll see. Hopefully I'll have time to do it between now and Wednesday morning, because I really want to have it uploaded so you can start working on that as well. So, yes. And as far as, I won't play Johnny Be Good right now because I don't want to get a copyright infringement, but there are a million videos up there teaching you how to play it. I mean, that's not a bad, Johnny Be Good's not a bad solo to be one of your early solos to learn. I did teach it to a lot of kids when I was teaching guitar privately. The other thing is, even more importantly, even more useful is the rhythm part that is done on that song. And you might want to learn that first because you can use that on 1,000 songs. And so the Johnny Be Good licks are fun and people want to hear it. And in fact, I did just recently teach it to my student in London, or half of it anyway. We never did finish it. We've been working on other things. So, okay, so what else is, let's see. Yeah, CD songs are real easy. There's a million songs that use 4 chords, G, E minor, C, D. You could even Google lists of songs that use 1, 6, 4, 5 progressions. And the 6th chord is, in this key, is E minor. Very simple chord, actually. There are even 1 chord songs. I'm not sure, but I have 2 videos out that are songs with 2 chords, and it's amazing how many songs are out there that only have 2 chords. So I'm ready to do sorry, I'm touching my face, so everybody can take a sip. I want to do a 3rd one. I was hoping to do a little bit of singing with it, because it's really hard to play. Some of these songs, these 2 chord songs, are really hard to hear the song. You go, okay, here are the 2 chords in it. One of them was Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. It's just F and G. That's it. F major and G major. It's just 2 chords. So yeah, E minor is a very simple chord. So it's spelled O-R though, just so you know. Minor is someone who mines for gold. Minor is a chord, is a key or a chord in music. So that would be E minor, just so you know. All right, so let's see what else is going on. We got pretty good turnout today. Got up to 59. I think 61 is our peak. 62 looks like a peak. That's pretty good. And Holly, thank you for the coin. That means a lot. And I'm cheap entertainment, right? How much would you spend 2 hours of entertainment in a movie theater, with popcorn and everything? You can always pop popcorn to watch me at home. That's cheaper than by far cheaper than going to the store. Yep, there you go, Josh. You got it. Very, very much cheaper popping it home than buying it at the. And the reason it's so expensive at the movie theater is because it. I actually was talking to a theater owner, and he said, yeah, on first run theaters, they only make 10% of the movie ticket. So if the ticket is $15, they're only making $1.50 per person. So they got to make their money on concessions. There's just no other way for them to make money. On second run theaters, they make 50% of the ticket price. But of course, keep in mind, ticket price is going to be $3, so they're still making $1.50 per person. But it's, I mean, maybe there's cheaper. But Beth and I used to go to this one place in Pasadena. We could see 2 movies for $3, a double feature every week. And they had 6 theaters with 12 movies in them. So you could just sit in the theater and see two movies. It was amazing. Yes, I'm not going to eat popcorn now, though. I got to have some breakfast, though. I haven't eaten yet today. Just had my coffee. So, yeah. Although I've not gotten good at the pan, kind with everything. Oh yeah, sorry, new reveal. Okay, so it was no big deal. But yeah, he bought a Collins Dreadnought, a beautiful Collins Dreadnought at Westwood Music, which sadly, if you're in LA, it's going out of business. So they gave him a pretty good deal. I think he got easily 20% off out the door. So if you add tax to the retail price, what they gave it to was 20% off of that, which is pretty good on a high-end guitar. And we played a lot of guitars, or I played a lot of guitars. He played too, but the idea was for him. Again, I did a video on this a while ago. If buying your first guitar, let's see if I can find it, and then you can watch it if you want. Content, acoustic maybe. What? Tips for buying your first acoustic. There it is. So I did a video here about buying it, and one of the tips I gave was take a player with you. Austin, yeah, Collins is from Austin, and that's not, it's an interesting thing to think about, but Austin's similar weather to LA, so the guitar should do well. Martins are made in Martins are, yeah, and I'm done teaching for this today. Pretty much, we're just talking now. Martins are made in Nazareth, Pennsylvania, and so the weather in Nazareth is very different than, the wood is used to being in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. So when you bring them to California, they do tend to get dried out a little bit. And then Bozeman, Montana, which is where one of my Gibsons was made. The other Gibson was made in Kalamazoo, I believe. Let's see, how many Gibsons do I have? I have a couple Gibsons. And all of my Martins were made in Nazareth, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, so it's interesting. But I kind of have that opinion that the guitar might fare well if it was made in the same environment that you're keeping it. My Loudon hasn't done very well. The top is starting to move a little bit. I can see a little lump in it, things like that. And it's just, I can't keep it humid enough. There's just no way to keep a guitar from Ireland humid enough in California. It's just not going to happen. So yeah, I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 9 a.m. LA time, Los Angeles time. Oh, David, you found me Sipsy. Boy, do you have the perfect name. I've been learning guitar for 50 years. And I find new stuff all the time. I appreciate you. The reason your name is appropriate is because we have a drinking game, and everybody says sip when I violate one of the terms. And Gary was on at some point, but he keeps the list. But it's, let's see, the rules are if I touch my face, which again, that's a COVID no-no. Not supposed to touch your face. Now I find myself touching my face even more when I'm thirsty. So it's actually worked against me. If I use air quotes, that's a sippable offense. If I say I had a band in high school called, if I mention the fact that I played all the guitars on Apex Legends, that's also a sippable offense. If I say, if I change guitars, that's a sippable offense. If I leave the room, that's a sippable offense. I haven't said this yet today, but if I say there won't be a quiz on this, and Lee, I designed this myself. Isn't that amazing? My sister's a designer, a fashion designer, and designs stuff, and she all three of us kids are artistic in the artistic leaning businesses. And then let's see, what are some other? Oh, if I drop a pick, that's a sippable offense. If I drop a thumb pick, that's 2 sips, because you should never drop a thumb pick, because that thing should be on your thumb. See, it's on your thumb. You shouldn't drop that. It should stay on there. But if I dropped it one time, and we had to take 2 sips. Let's see, if I leave a room, got that one. What was another? Oh, Gary's got it here. Touches my face. Refer to myself. If I refer to myself in the third person, which really doesn't happen, but I made that as Tom Strahle made that as a rule so that we had another way of getting a sip. If I forget that I have a weird tuning, so I pick up a guitar and I think it's in standard tuning and it's in drop D or open D or something like that, then that's a sippable offense. Basically, to pass the time while I retune. If I use air quotes, if I band in high school called, say involvement in Apex Legend, if I leave the room, if I say no quiz, if I lose a pick, let's see, 2 sips. If I swap out my spectacles, I did that on Friday, right? Because I'm having to lean in to read these, but with these glasses, I don't have to lean in to read these. But I got 3 pairs of glasses up here. Let's see. I didn't know that's one. So if I say that's dope, I have to go back to the 90s and give back my pants or something. The 90s wants their pants back or whatever that is. I don't remember that one, Gary, but okay. I don't say it so much. If it was something like I don't know, what do I say a lot? But I don't know is probably something I say a lot. You'd all be under the table by now. Let's see. If I speak adoration. Okay. So Gary, we have a family member. My sister's on the screen, so we all have to take a sip for Lee. We're also going to take a sip. No, Becker, you haven't missed anything. Not a thing. Exactly. We also have to take a sip because Lee's feeling good. She had COVID. She was in the hospital with COVID. The hospital actually gave her COVID. That's the most common place you can get COVID. She went in with pneumonia and tested, I think, negative twice, if I'm not mistaken. And they thought, oh, you had COVID, and she didn't. And then she went home, and then she gets sick again, and it's like, oh, you got COVID now. Duh. Are you going to pay the bill? But I'm happy for that. My mother-in-law, who also had COVID, and her symptom was, and she's just stayed at home. The doctors didn't put her in a hospital because, and she's 84 years old. They didn't put her in a hospital because her daughter-in-law who's visiting, she and her son and daughter-in-law are visiting from Ecuador. And she's not, she's a nurse, so she's totally capable of taking care of, and she had COVID too, so totally capable of taking care of my mother-in-law. But her only symptom was really bad nausea. She couldn't eat. And so she lost some weight, was very weak, and that was concerning. But she's all better now. She's got her appetite back, and she's her chipper self, so that's really good. Deborah. I'm telling Deborah. I'm just going to call you Deborah. It's probably a guy, but let's see. What was another one? Oh, should a quiz occur? Yeah, if you do get a quiz, you have to put the sit back. So David, that's why your name is perfect. Noon your time, so you're on the East Coast. Okay, David. Yeah, so David Sipsy, that's why your name is perfect. In fact, I think we should take a sip for David Sipsy. Everybody take a sip for David Sipsy. And if that's your real last name, you've probably been teased your whole life, and I'm really sorry about that. That's not my intent. Brian W., have you heard of a pick holder? You know what I would do, Brian, is I would just start practicing with a thumb pick. If you can get a thumb pick that will fit your thumb, there's millions of them, and I think you can heat them up or put them in boiling water, maybe and kind of change the shape of them, and then put them on and let it, well, not while it's boiling. But I've got a bunch of different thumb picks, and one of them I've got that I actually started to file down. because I didn't want that much exposed. But I think that would really help as far as you know, if your thumb is really and you can't hold a pick very well, that might help. The other thing is there's a lot of guitar players that strum with their fingers. So if you're wanting to just basically strum, oh good, Jay, you're close to it, so that's good. You can just go across the street if you get sick. It's perfect. Real convenient. So yeah, they probably should give you the vaccine early. Guitar players are last on the list, just so you know. So I'm stuck here until like 2025. No, I leave the house and I go for walks and I don't wear my mask if I'm by myself walking with no one around. Of course, I wear a mask in a store and everything like that. But you went for SBO on November 11th and came down with a fever 5 days post. Discharged November 18th. Took my doctors till 13th to figure it out. Tested negative twice at their facility. It's crazy. Yeah, a lot of people play with their fingers and they prefer it. You know, like I've had students say, "Do I have to use a pick?" I'm like, "No, absolutely not." Pick comes in handy for some things, obviously, and there's certain things you can't do without a pick. But there's, you know, flamenco players, you know, do like here I'm changing guitar, so we can, you know, but they don't use a pick. They do everything, you know, that they do with a. So I don't have a thumbnail right now. So it's really a bummer not to have a thumb, and I can't really use a thumb pick with flamenco. Yeah, let's see what the last thing on my. Let's see. Here we go. Copy. I think this is it. Here's the Discord link. Thank you, Bruce, for asking. But yeah, so you can play. I mean, I'm just a beginner flamenco player. I'm just trying to kind of get some stuff down. The thing that, like, I studied classical guitar, and again, I don't have a thumbnail right now, so it's but I studied classical guitar in college, and classical guitar is like this interior muscles, like here, just, you know, doing this. And I remember being practicing and doing my Segovia scales. Shoot, how long has it been since I did my Segovia scales? And I remember doing those and having, oh, my hands would be so sore, just, oh gosh, you know, building up that speed, but mostly the endurance. And then when I started studying flamenco guitar, flamenco is a lot of exterior muscles, the top of your hand muscles. And so I was really like, oh, I'll be trying to do, these are rasgueados, okay? Like when you flick the strings with your fingers like that, that's a rasgueado. And there's millions of them. I mean, like there's one that's thumb up, pinky down, first finger down. There's one that's index, let's see. Yeah, index down, middle up, index up. And they're just brutal. They take forever. The first time I did, and I don't even know if I can do it right now, but the first time I did 2 of those in a row, I was like, oh my God, I did 2 in a row. I was so excited. It was like, and here's one of the reasons, like if I was retired and not working at all, I wouldn't retire until I didn't have to work. But Holly's going to help me get there. Thank you again, Holly. Yeah, no, pick comes in handy, but with the like I said, with the flamenco stuff, part of the reason I studied it, started studying is because I can see where, I could use this, particularly like the Gypsy King strumming things, which is not necessarily flamenco. What'd you call that? I mean, it is flamenco-esque, but it's more, I don't know, rumba music. And I'm just like, that's a very, very basic pattern that I'm not even very good at. The whole idea is kick, snare, kick, snare. And see, that sounds like a kick. And if I can make the strings hit the frets, it sounds like a snare. But I'm hit too far up. See, I need to hit right there. And in slow motion, I'm doing like, I'm hitting here with the palm on down one. So it's 1 E and 2 E. I'm sorry, or you can 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's 1 E and a 2 E and so it's like 16th notes essentially. So I'm hitting the kick drum, like I'm hitting the bridge, and then I'm strumming up like that. So 1 E, and then it's yeah. So kick, fingers up, fingers down, thumb up, slap. And then it's the same pattern over and over again. There's many, many variations on that. But that's such a cool pattern that you wouldn't do with a pick. I mean, I could fake it with a pick, kind of a, nah, really not. I could get the slap, the snare hit, but the kick drum hit is hard with a pick in your hand, because they really do this thing. So I was just kind of going through. There's a bunch of lessons on YouTube that teach you, but anyway, the whole point for me is, when the older you get, the harder it is to learn stuff. So when like if you're 15 years old, my 15-year-old students, when they were, 13, 15, 16 years old, man, I would show them something, by the next week they would have it nailed, and I would try to show them something hard too, and they would have it nailed the next week. So it was really, really tough to kind of, it was tough to stump them, so to speak. And so those minds, and those hands and everything, they learn so fast. But I love it that at almost 60, I can still learn new, that you can still teach this old dog new tricks. And so that I love. And so I've been studying flamenco, and I've also been, the bluegrass thing is kind of, again, one of those things where I'm like, yeah, I would love to be able to be a little bit more of a bluegrass player. I'm not going to sit, like I've said before, I've played bluegrass, I've written bluegrass songs for TV and stuff. I've played in movies, TV shows, even games. Even done bluegrass kind of stuff on records, but if I was asked if it was a legitimate bluegrass record, I would say call somebody else or call this guy or that guy, because you get really, you're on a record is much more, you're much more exposed on an album or on a record than you are in a TV show or a movie or a game. And the main reason is because people listen to records over and over again, and they'll go, wait, that guy's not really a good player. They can hear it, and then, but with a game or a movie, it goes by so fast, people aren't even listening to the music. There's usually talking over it, or there's explosions, or, I've worked on soundtracks where we slaved over parts and came up with the best, this is the cool, this is amazing, and came up with the great sounds or whatever. And then when you see the movie or see the TV show, it's like, you don't even hear that. It's like, where did that go? We spent a day on that one thing, and it's gone. We hear a motorcycle, we hear the song for like 2 seconds, and then there's motorcycles. It's like, really? So a very different type of recording work, records versus movies and films. And I tend to do more TV shows, movies, and films. The work I do on records is more originating stuff. So a lot of times when I'm working on records, it's I'm writing something, and the whole thing starts with me. So that's largely what I do. Anyway, Tom is mesmerizing. Wait, what? I missed that. Bruce, what did Bruce say? What's happening to my feet? Hey, what? Wait, what's wrong? Are your feet numb, Bruce? We got to call 911. Yeah, we started talking about Bruce's feet and we lose viewers. Yeah, it's fun. Let's see. Oh, Dennis got turned down for a test. Dang, that's crazy. Um, let's see. Oh, Lindsay. Oh, Buckingham. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I saw Alex took me to see a Fleetwood Mac concert. It was so good. We sat in the last row. We were in the back row, very top. It was off, but it was still awesome to be there. Oh yeah, you can't. I mean, this is just a small percentage of the picks that I have. It's a small percentage of the picks I have, and I have picks all over the desktop right now. But yeah, I mean, picks make this is shoot. This stupid blue chip pick was I think $40 for one pick. Is it worth $40? I don't know. It was a gift, but it actually does sound really good. And when I'm doing strumming for bluegrass, I think I may have used it on that bluegrass track. I think I did. And it's blue chip picks. You can look them up. This is a 60, a TD 60. It's something about the material they make. I think the idea is that it's as close as they can get to tortoiseshell, which is kind of the original guitar pick, which you can't get those anymore, obviously. I think you could still own them if they exist. But like this Dunlop, this white one is super thin. It's like a piece of paper. And it has a very weird sound compared to say a heavy pick. Very, very different sound. Here's a rubber pick, and I got this one. This is rubber. I just said, I wonder if they have rubber picks, because my fingers were blistered from playing bass. I don't normally play bass, and I had a series of I was playing bass on a lot of tracks for this game, and my finger was getting blisters. So I ordered these picks, and then I used them instead because it sounded like my finger. So it's amazing. It sounded more like a finger than a pick. So. I've been trying to find more of these. The jellyfish pick. I love this thing. It's the weirdest. It's just a bunch of strings. I think if somebody started manufacturing this again, they would probably sell some because it's got. The idea was originally the jellyfish pick was supposed to sound like a 12 string on a 6 string. And for all intents and purposes, it's completely impractical. It makes no sense. There's no reason for this. However, I'm always trying to get weird sounds for games and for scores and things like that. And my composers are asking me, hey, how can you get a weird sound? I'll use a triangle mallet, to get a. Whatever. I've got this agate pick that I've had since I was a teenager. And it sounds, it's hard to tell over the iMac microphone and through the internet, through OBS and YouTube and all the way to your speaker. You can't really hear the subtle nuances. But the microphone can really hear it. And so when you send them something that's like, whoa, what is that? It's always a good trick. So, all right. Yeah, they stopped making these. I've been trying to find more. You can see it got wet, so it's rusty. So I'm kind of bummed about that. I've not been able to find more of these. I've tried. Let me check Reverb right now and see if anybody's selling them. Probably selling them for $100 or something. So I actually bought it at the NAMM show because it was at the Fender booth, and Fender had bought the company or something, and they stopped making. I don't know. But I bought it at the Fender booth for some reason at the NAMM show. We'll see, and it's spelled with an I, not a Y, so jellyfish with an I, Jelli fish pick. And they make regular picks too, or made regular picks. Yep, nothing. If I just go to straight up Google and see if anyone's got them, I don't really see them. Jellyfish chorus technique. So I have 2007 customer reviews. See that? Yeah, there's no. it's nobody's selling it. Yeah, you can't. Well, let's see. 3 out of 5 on. Yeah, currently unavailable. I still have the picture of it though. Um, yeah. Some weird things though. I'm always looking for weird things. I mean, that's why I love I love this spider capo, things like that. So, you know me, I'm always trying to find something different. The bottle cap I use as a pick. This thing, I mean, nothing sounds like it, and it's actually. I've gone through a lot of different. I got a lot of different bottle caps, but this is my favorite one, and this I think from a Pepsi plastic bottle. I mean, you can't get that sound anywhere else. It on a banjo. It's positively frightening, and it was perfect for this one game. I said, "Hey, let me try this," and he said, "Dude, that's the sound I'm looking for." And so we did a whole game with it. See what I create some. And with a standard pick, that would sound like this, which is still pretty scary, but not this scary. Right? So you just never know. You see in this pick, this bottle cap, which is from what does that say? Well, this is from Pepsi also. Not bad. I like the tone of this one better. And they're free, basically. So, you gotta love that. I should market it. And I think part of the thing is that it actually acts like a little bit of a speaker, right? Because it's kind of shaped like, it's got its own little tone going on, and I'm just scraping the strings. So anyway, it's stupid, but it just sounds weird, doesn't it? I can even solo with it if I have to. I had to. Oh, thank you, Chanel. I appreciate you. You've been on before. So, Indonesia, that's right. Welcome, Indonesia. It's bedtime. Go to bed. Actually, I'm going to sign off now. So those of you in Indonesia and in Moscow, we had someone from Moscow at the beginning. That was awesome. I don't remember having anyone from Moscow before. Again, Holly, thank you so much for the. Is there a question that you want me to answer? There wasn't anything like that. You were just giving me some love, and I appreciate that. Yeah, like I said, I'm cheap entertainment, right? How much would you spend on a movie? So you just, I felt that way when I went to Vegas and I made a roll of nickels last like 2 hours. I was like, that was, well, how much is a roll of nickels? $2? A nickel slots. I made it last 2 hours and I'm like, okay, that's good. That's all I need to spend. I lost it all, of course. You keep playing until you lose it all. You have nothing left to play with. That's that's exactly the MO of the whole thing. But let's see, this looks weird. Why does it? No, it's good. Okay. So I'm going, hopefully Wednesday I will have, Pent Up ready to go. And then I'll play it for you and we can start looking at it and maybe messing around with it. And what it does is it gives us some licks. And the idea is to have some licks that are usable or make sense, rather than just exercises. But if you want to do groups of 3 and 4 with these pentatonics, I would recommend that to kind of get familiar with them. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. You play a Dunlop grip. Yep, I know that pick, 73. €1 per pick, but extremely durable. And yeah, the funny thing is that most of my picks that I've spent serious money on, in fact, this is the first pick I ever bought that cost more than a quarter. And back in the day, and I still have it. This thing was probably $8, and I'm like, I'll probably never lose it. Same with like the Wiegand pick. These are $15, and it's like $15 for a pick, really? But I still have them. It was when I was buying picks like the Dunlops, where it was I'd buy them 140 gross at a time. I'd run out of them. I'm like, how? I had 144 picks at the beginning of the year, and now I've got 12. How does that happen? So, only 2 people could be outside hand in hand. What? That's no movies in Holland tonight. Another lockdown start for 3 weeks. Oh gosh, it's ridiculous. Sorry. I'll tell you what, they're going to have about 3-4 years from now, they're going to have a glut of nurses Everybody's going to go, well, I want my job to be essential. So they're going to have more nurses than they're not going to know what to do with. Yep. So I've been on for 2.25 hours. So we're gonna sign off here, and I will thank you, XL or Easy, Charlie. Thank you, Becker. Sup. Yeah. Make the most of this lockdown. Only 2 people can be outside hand in hand. That's just excluding kids. Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. And you have to be hand in hand. You have to be holding hands with the person. So it's just arbitrary. They're just asking for people to revolt en masse. They can't arrest everybody. You know what I mean? So anyway, I will talk to you later, and so Wednesday, that's when we'll be gathered again together as a family. God bless you all. Thank you so much. Good night.